Meow, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I'm not gonna spend too much time on these other miners. You know how much how many views I usually get in these videos and how much I end up making from these videos. Usually I get like maybe 100 views at most, and I probably end up making maybe like 50 or 75 cents per video. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but it does help me kind of formulate in terms of what I'm seeing. If I can verbalize it, it actually helps me. If anything, just kind of talk through it. When you see this thing over here, what do you see? Do you think this is a bullish formation? Or do you think this is a bearish formation? Let me kind of describe it to you in terms of what's happening. Right, there's a big giant thing that dropped all the way down to the floor, bounced real hard, and is trying to knock on the door. For some reason, there's some really frightening, very weird energy just kind of keep pushing the ball up, right? So initially knocking on the door like horror movie, like once, you're like, what's going on? Knocking on it again, you're like, okay, not getting faster, it's a little bit creepy, and it just keeps on knocking, pop, 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 you know? Eventually, it's like Jack Nicholson sticking his head out and shining through the door, and they're just running around the gardens. Like, that's kind of how I really see it. They did have earnings recently. The earning reaction was not great. You know, it really went down a lot. But so far it's looking like it's basically just doing nothing, to be honest with you. You look at the daily, you would think that there was some technical damage, but there really isn't. There's a big boring symmetric triangle over here, just waiting, just building up energy, just trying to break out one side or the other. Which side do you think I'm going to break out? Or I'm not breaking up. I don't have. Yeah. My Herbies are not breaking up. Anyway, which side do you think is going to break up? Up or down? Well, let's look at a higher time frame and try to figure it out. Looks like it's in the upper part of this volume shelf over here, right? Might have a hard time breaking above of it. But there's also a pretty strong magnet over here, right? Looks like it's been trying to break up rather than break down, right? The energy level seems to be pushing up rather than pushing down, right? Cup. Maybe a little bit of handle, forming a smaller cup. You know, maybe a little bit of handle. It's just going to keep forming smaller cup and handle like that. Eventually breaks through. If you look at a weekly trend, you can see that is a bull trend. 20 about, 50 about, 100. If you look at the bull market support band, you can see the price is currently above the support band, despite a poor earnings. So things are still looking pretty decent. A couple of quick ones here, looking at the Ichimoku. If I have to pull up the conversion or Tenkan and base, the Kijun, you can see that you had a bullish cross and price trying to push above the Tenkan over here, but so far unable to, got rejected, right? The Kijun down here could potentially serve as support from now. I think eventually it's going to keep building energy, and eventually it's going to push back out, Tenkan back test it, and push against this horizontal level here to go higher. Probably, right? Let's look at the Bollinger Band. Again, the Bollinger Band also shows you a very, very nice hug of this 20-month moving average, just kind of going down, flat, sideways, pointing up again. Curling up over here on the upper part of the Bollinger Band for a whole year, building up tons of energy on the upper part of the Bollinger Band, 20 moving average is pointing up. Everything tends to be pointing that the next big direction is going to go higher, right? Bollinger Band squeeze over here on the monthly, trying to expand, trying to knock, right? You see this, you see the echo of the knock at the bottom at the lower Bollinger Band right here, right? Very interesting. I have bought enough. I bought in the month of April, and call spaces around like a little bit less than $4. I bought enough. I'm just going to let it be. I'm happy with my position. I'm happy that I'm buying right around when potentially can knock through the door. There's no guarantee. Obviously, you can always come back test the rising 20 moving average, and that would not be a bad thing. Keep testing before going up. I'm okay with that. I'm just not sure after a whole year, how much longer this consolidation is going to last. And I do think that based on what I'm seeing right now, the consolidation is probably going to end up having bullish expansion with price going up. That is CIFR. RIOT is still lagging behind the other miners, even though it was relatively bullish for a couple weeks, where you form a very, very nice kind of wick over here. If you look at it weekly, form a very, very, very nice like dragonfly doji or hammer candle over here, which really signifies a bottom. So far, price just went way up and it's just forming a little bit of a bull flag over here. So, consolidation, top of the range, bottom of the range, right? The other bottom of the range bounce. Yeah, going sideways a little bit. Where's probably going to go? Probably going to go to the top of the range. Is this going to be a fourth time where we got rejected and going back down? Possibly. Probably not, though. Going back to the monthly. Is there anything positive going for it? Ichimoku Cloud. Looks just like Bitfarms. Matter of fact, actually a little bit worse because you had the bullish cross over here and then you lost it. Now you had a bearish cross. Bearish cross doesn't mean you have to go down a lot further. It just means that things are just consolidating sideways for so long that it's indecisive. I think that's what it means. Like it could very well be like next month too. You're not having a bullish cross again. Like that really doesn't matter. But some potential bullish development over here with Tenkan and Kijun getting really close to one another, right? Kind of like how it was, around here, right? When Tenkan got closer to Kijun. Looking at the Bollinger Band, fell below the 20-month moving average, but it's still pointing up, so it's probably not going to serve as very strong resistance for too long. Probably going to get back about a bounce and go higher because it's pointing up. But it's below it. It's not as bullish, is it? Let's look at the weekly chart for RIOT. Is there a trend? Not really. 20 cross back underneath the 50, right? That's what I meant by seeing. You also see that correlation with the bearish cross on the Ichimoku Cloud. 2050 had a bearish cross over here. Does it mean it's ornaments? Probably not. You have a bullish cross. Yeah, it was pretty bullish. But having a bearish cross right after a bullish cross, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to push the price a lot lower. It's probably just kind of oscillating around here just because price has been oscillating and indecisive. But yeah, not a full bull trend, is there? Right? Something to think about. I'm just going to go through HUT real quick. You don't have a bull trend on the weekly, which is going to be behind the other miners. If I just pull up the Bollinger Band analysis here, 20-month moving average is flattening. The price is way below that. This is a major laggard. It might continue to lag. And if you pull up the Ichimoku Cloud, it's below both the Tenkan and Kijun. I mean, they're getting closer together. They haven't crossed yet, and price is below both, right? So, matter of fact, like honestly, if I wasn't so bullish on Bitcoin, there's a potential that these things can just go down, and price could go up and slam, got rejected, and go down further. There's that potential, right? But this is a Bitcoin miner. I'm gonna give it a little bit of respect, right? A little bit of like a multiple bottoms over here, right? With a lot of tweezer bottoms, tweezer, right how you got a fork right there. I do think there's a lot of a lot of demands being met over here. There's a lot of pretty decent support over here shown by all these wicks, and so far it's been bouncing, right? I don't want to keep attacking it. The more it attacks it, the weaker it gets, and it can fall through the floor, but at least it's trying to test some of the stuff. But you also have a lot of resistance about the big giant volume shove over here. Tenkan, Kijun hasn't crossed yet. It's also below the price, is below both of these lines over here. It's also below the flat 20-month moving average. There's no guarantee that this has bottom yet. I think it has bottom again because it's a Bitcoin miner, but there's no guarantee. It does look a little bit like diamond, I guess. If you're into that kind of diamond pattern trading, it could be a diamond bottom, just like how it was over here as a diamond top. Sorry, diamond bottom over here as well. You can see that, but I don't. Those are unreliable, so I generally don't look at it. It's a laggard. One that I like, one that I do have a holding on, is IREN. And what you're really seeing here is it's been kind of forming a little bit of a zigzag, kind of a little bit of a, for the most part, higher, low type situation, right? If you look at the Ichimoku Cloud, unfortunately, the price is still below the Tenkan. They haven't crossed yet either. So you look at the Ichimoku Cloud, this is actually a little bit better than HUT, but not that much better. But if you look at the 20-month moving average on the Bollinger Band, it looks like it's finding support over here at the 20. Price is spending majority of the time above the 20. Looks like it's doing pretty decent over there, isn't it? So if you look at the weekly chart, that's also going to tell you a different picture here too. Again, you've seen this before. a lot of the miners are looking very, very similar, where they're just kind of crawling over the symmetric triangle, waiting for a breakout for the next direction. But what about the trend? I want to know the trend. I want to know the trend. 20 is still about 50, is still about 100. 20 is kind of crawling down a little bit. 50 is, 100 is kind of crawling up a little bit. Well, because you've been consolidating around for quite some time, that happens. But it's still a bull trend. And it's trying to pick a direction. So if it's a bull trend, it's trying to pick a direction. If it picks direction, probability is probably going to go up. Is the weekly Ichimoku cloud telling you something? It's been oscillating around, but it's trying to use the Ichimoku cloud as like the floor a little bit, trying to bounce a little bit slower here. But overall, higher time frame, leaning bullish. Lower time frame on the weekly, consolidation, either up or down, because higher time frame is bullish. Lower time frame also leaning bullish. It is stuck underneath this volume shelf over here. It might be a little bit of resistance that needs to break through. May need a little bit of volume to kind of come in to do that, right? But that's IREN. Wolfpack. TerraWolf. Zooming out the monthly, this looks a little bit more, less symmetrical triangle-ish. It looks a little bit more like an ascending triangle kind of thing, right? Which generally is again leaning a little bit bullish, right? And overall, it's been forming more higher highs than higher lows, right? It's been kind of pushed up a little bit higher. If you pull up some of the other indicators, look at the Ichimoku cloud, it actually flipped the Tenkan from resistance to support. This is a bullish development. Still no bullish cross though, right? Because price just before it was minor, it was apparently there's a big giant drop. But anyway, it's the Kijin's gonna take a while to kind of catch up. But more importantly, it did flip the Tenkan from resistance to support, and that's a bullish indication. Now bullish bands, 20-month moving average, flip from resistance over here to support. Right now it's just kind of crawling up. Price been kind of forming a little bit of a flag over here above the upsloping 20-month moving average, looking like it has to pick the direction. It's probably going to depend on picking upwards. Also because it's a Bitcoin miner. Again, not all Bitcoin miners, are bullish. There are some that are just some of the charts is absolutely horrendous, and I'm not really looking at them too much. But yeah, because this also has been around for long enough, I actually can show the Black Hat fund flow trend oscillator. Price sideways, wells coming in, right? I mean, I can show you too in terms of let's see. In terms of TerraWolf, I can show you. I'm not though, but I'm gonna click it anyway. Mail. 23% institutional holding, and the chart looks like this, right? So there is well accumulation, right? So yeah, I mean, I think this kind of confirms that. Again, it's got a little bit more like a ascending triangle look to it, so it's a little bit leaner, a little bit more bullish. Weekly, what's weekly doing? Let's pull up the other trends. Do you have a bull trend? The answer is yes. You have a bull trend. This looks more bullish than IREN, to be honest. And this looks actually more bullish than a lot of the other miners I've shown you. And it's also being pushed up by a bull market support band that's pushing up. It's just been coiling up for a very, very long time, so it's consolidating here a little bit. But the trend is up, guys. 20-month moving average, 20-week moving average. The Tenkan, you got like multiple brothers and sisters trying to push you up and support you. It's good to have a wolf that has brothers and sisters support you. All right, I think the wine's kicking in. I already talked about 5 miners. I'm going to call that a night for that. Take care. Bye.